The Middle East has long been the cornerstone of global oil production, but what happens when rising tensions in the region threaten to disrupt this vital source? Imagine waking up to a world where oil prices have surged overnight, crippling economies and sending shockwaves across global markets. The oil lifeblood that fuels industry, transportation, and daily life suddenly feels more like a volatile weapon. With tensions brewing in the Middle East, the scenario isn't far-fetched. The region, which supplies a significant portion of the world's oil, has become the epicenter of geopolitical uncertainty. As strategic oil hubs sit on the edge of disaster, the question isn't if a crisis will occur, but when. Welcome to the global reality where even whispers of conflict in the Middle East can tip the balance of the entire global market. Oil production in the Middle East powers much of the modern world. Countries like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates are crucial players, but this also makes the global oil supply chain dangerously fragile. A significant portion of the world's oil flows through choke points like the Strait of Hormuz, where even the mere threat of sabotage or blockades can send prices skyrocketing. Just recently, rumors alone sent oil prices surging by 6%. This ripple effect hits every aspect of the global economy: higher transportation costs, increased manufacturing expenses, and a rise in consumer goods prices. Should vital oil facilities in the region come under fire, the impact would be immediate. Historically, such disruptions have led to inflation, slowing economic growth, and sending stock markets into a tailspin. The energy-dependent sectors, transportation, manufacturing, chemicals, are the first to feel the sting, but the shockwaves spread much further. If you are finding this breakdown of global oil vulnerability eye-opening, give this video a like and share it. It's crucial to raise awareness of these potential threats. In a world where oil remains the dominant energy source, any disruption sends the market into a frenzy. Investors panic, pushing oil prices up while stock markets plummet. This reaction can be traced back to major crises like the 1970s oil embargo, which triggered recession and reshaped economies. The Middle East holds the power to either maintain stability or sow chaos. As tensions rise, countries reliant on Middle Eastern oil find themselves trapped in a web of market volatility. But it doesn't end here. The economic strain caused by oil disruptions inevitably leads to inflation, which trickles down to consumers. Prices rise on every goods, families' purchasing power shrinks, and businesses face higher costs of operation. In developing countries already grappling with economic instability, such a price surge could trigger widespread social unrest. What we see in the headlines as oil volatility translates to real-world consequences: food prices soaring, job markets shrinking, and governments struggling to maintain economic order. Countries like China, India, and much of Europe heavily depend on Middle Eastern oil. With each geopolitical flare-up, their vulnerabilities become more pronounced. This dependency has led to the creation of massive strategic petroleum reserves, but these are only temporary stopgaps. If a prolonged crisis unfolds, no amount of reserve stockpiling will shield them from economic fallout. As threats of disruption grows, governments across the globe are waking up to the pressing need for alternative energy sources. The Middle East's precarious position as the world's oil supplier is forcing the world to accelerate efforts to diversify energy portfolios. This reality is fueling investment in renewable energy as nations scramble to shield themselves from the consequences of oil dependency. What do you think? Could this drive toward renewables fundamentally reshape global energy politics? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. As ironic as it sounds, the instability threatening the oil market could in the long run spur progress. More countries are recognizing the need to shift toward renewable energy. Investments in solar, wind, and even nuclear energy are ramping up as governments aim to reduce their dependence on oil. Major powers like the US, EU, and China are all pushing forward with renewable initiatives that could not only mitigate future oil crises but also address broader concerns like climate change. Meanwhile, oil-producing nations are beginning to diversify their economies. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 and United Arab Emirates' push for renewables signal a move towards preparing for a future beyond oil. However, these efforts are a race against time as the global energy transition gathers pace. If successful, we could witness a seismic shift in the global energy landscape, one where oil no longer reigns supreme. Yet the path is fraught with challenges. Oil economies have historically built their wealth on this finite resource, and transitioning away from it will require overcoming immense social and economic hurdles. The push for renewable energy could reshape economies, create new industries, and foster greater global collaboration, or it could exacerbate divisions between countries that transition quickly and those that lag behind. Now, let's zoom in on the Middle East itself. The region has long thrived on the wealth generated by oil. Massive urban centers, gleaming skyscrapers, and ambitious economic projects have been fueled by black gold. But with global demand for oil potentially waning in the next few decades, Middle Eastern countries are at a crossroads. The United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia have shown foresight with their economic diversification plans. But are they moving fast enough? The future may see a post-oil Middle East, and what that looks like remain uncertain. Without oil, economies could crumble, leading to political instability and social unrest. Youth unemployment, already a pressing issue in many countries, could spiral out of control. Governments that have relied on oil revenues to maintain social order may find their hold on power slipping. But there is also hope. The Middle East could become a leader in renewable energy, leveraging its vast deserts and endless sunlight to produce solar power. Countries that successfully diversify into tech, tourism, and green energy could emerge stronger, securing their place in a post-oil world. If this video has sparked your interest, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Thanks for watching.